Hello, friends. Billy Ricky here to talk about life again today. As the rain falls, as I imagine the tears from the angels and God in heaven and the goddesses for the pain bestowed upon the meek and the pure and the loving versus the great and terrible evil that is ruling with an iron, cold, cruel fist. So I want to clarify that I have transmutated into the present and I have let go of the past, but I still talk about the past, but I don't dwell on it every day. But factually, the present still has abuse in it. The thugs that are running our country, for one thing, who hate people like me, and the terror that I feel every day. The sadness of being unloved and alone, and dealing with the damages that have been done me from being abused. But the bright side of that is I now know I was never meant to be a cruel, angry, or vindictive person. I am meant to be a loving person. That is how I was made by God and Goddess. That is who I am. And that is the way I handle my life now. Which brings to mind the blue-eyed devil of the past, who broke my heart, who cheated on me, who lied about me. You know, I wish him well. I know who he's with because I'm an empath. They don't know I know, but I know. But I don't care, you know. And if I was to run into the blue-eyed devil, I would be kind and heartful and forgiving, because that is who I am meant to be. That is who I am. The past me was because of the abuse that I endured from my family, the induced abuse from middle school, you know, being called a fag, being beaten up, being threatened to be raped in the locker room, having people pretending to be my friends inviting me to their house as a child, and then smashing me in the face with eggs on the way there, and then smashing my house with eggs. You know, these things come back to me as I had forgotten memories from being beaten and left for dead in 2006, which was another horrible thing, while I was anguishing over the breakup of the blue-eyed devil. I lived in Indiana with my dad, and I worked as a jeweler. I worked at Pizza Hut. Um, you know, it was just a terrible time. I enjoyed being a jeweler, but I had to live under an ordinance that said no protections for LGBTQ people. It was called a gender identity measure, and in the midst of that, I was beaten and left for dead. You know, and again, I threw up 3 sinks of blood in the hospital. I had to go into surgery and have my nose reconstructed and my jaw realigned, and you know, I was beaten black and blue and bloody, and my nose is forever crooked now, and it has a titanium rod in it. And I am always going to be traumatized over that, but I still see good in people, and I can still love. And I love better now because I've learned so much from what I've been through. I don't believe in yelling and screaming. I believe in grace and temperance, or a smart comeback, you know, not a harsh, mean, cruel thing. Or I believe in making my point an intelligent point rather than calling names. So And I've had a good day this week, and I met that beautiful, handsome bartender who seemed to be flirting with me, which made me feel good because I don't think of myself as a beauty queen now that I am a woman. So it's just one stiletto in front of the other, as I always say, and moving forward. I don't dwell and live on the past. It doesn't reflect on how I trust somebody. Now, when it comes to talking to someone online, I am not filling out documents online for somebody. I don't care who they say they are. I am not sending you money online. If you want that, you have to come and show me you are who you are. And you say you're going to give me this money right back. Well, then you better be right by my side if you're uh, a famous person claiming to love me. Now, I do believe I have talked to the real Elon Musk, who hasn't asked me for money, who calls a lot, who wrote on the internet to me about how I've been through a lot, and to keep fighting, don't give up. And that's my set of mind now. I almost gave up once, and I vowed I would never, ever, ever do that again. So I keep fighting. After my dad died, it was hard to go forward. It was very hard. My dad was my only real supporter. He wasn't perfect by any means. I mean, at first he did not accept me, but as he saw how my life is and was, he never missed a beat. He always called me she. Now, my mother, even today, still refers to me as he, still uh, calls me Rick instead of Ricky. So, Billy was my father's name. That's why I'm Billy Ricky. I was Ricky Ray in the past as a singer, because when you're in the public eye, you really shouldn't use your real name. But I would like to keep moving forward. I would like to keep letting go of the past. And I'm still sad, granted, because I am alone and unloved, and I know I deserve love. And I do love me. That's why I keep going. I've learned to love me, because you can't depend on other people. But I would like to have a husband. I would like to put faith and trust in him. I don't want the abuse of the past keeping me from loving in the present and the future. I don't want them, the evil people who hurt me, to do that. So, I say again today my saying I made up, and that is, every day I must go on. Every day I must be strong. Every day I must be, for there's no one else in this life, in this world, in this universe like me. And I say, I live in poverty, but I live in abundance. I live in abuse, but I live in abundance. I don't have love from another man. This woman needs love to replace the hurt of the past. But I am love. Love is in me. Love is around me. Love is all I am. And then I also say, I am who I am supposed to be. I am where I belong at this time. And again, I love me. Have a good day, and I pray for the meek.